NXT Roadblock was last night, and it was a really, really good show. Let's talk about that and some other WWE and AEW quick news on this episode of Screw the Script. To start off this great NXT Roadblock show, honestly, one of the best shows that NXT has put on in a while, in my mind. Every match hit from top to bottom. I enjoyed all of it, and it has really restored my faith in WWE's push for young talent. The reason why I say that is because on their main shows, Raw, SmackDown, they really struggle with pushing young talent. I mean, if you look at it, the top guys in the company, you've got, John Cena, who's in a main title picture right now, Cody Rhodes, The Rock is involved, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, LA Knight, Damian Priest, the list goes on. All of those guys are older than 35. I think most of them are actually over 40. And so it's always sat with me like, outside of Braun Breaker in the men's division, who do they have? Oh, and Dominic Mysterio, can't forget him. Who do they have besides those two that are under the age of 35, possibly 30 for both of them? I think Braun Breaker's only like 27. Who do they have? They really don't have a whole lot of young top talent. Well, NXT proved that otherwise tonight. Fraxium to start off the show against the Hardy Boys, who are literally probably double the two competitors' age. That was an incredible match to start the show. Just an amazing tag team match, top to bottom. Every level of the match they excelled in. All those different unique tag combos that they did. The Hardys did something new that I've seen anyways. They've probably been doing it for a few weeks now, if I remember right. Actually, I think I've seen it more than once now. But they did, Jeff Hardy, I believe, I can't remember which one started the combo, but I think it was Jeff Hardy hit a twist of fate, but it almost looked like a stunner because I think it was on Nathan Frazier, if I remember right. Took that, and then he bounced up, and then immediately Matt Hardy hit him with a neck breaker. That was great. They are both in their 40s and still wrestling great, and they are helping put over the young tag team over in NXT, and it's awesome to see that, Matt and Jeff Hardy definitely go against that phrase, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, because, again, they have been wrestling for over 20 years, and they are still, after all these years, coming up with new moves in their arsenal as a tag team. They will go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. They already are, but when they are all said and done and fully retired, instant Hall of Fame ballot for sure. Again, great match. We saw some interesting spots in the match. The way that it finished, you saw, I believe it was Axiom was on the top rope and accidentally hit Nathan, or vice versa. And then eventually a minute later or so, the Hardys got the upper hand and won. So they keep the TNA tag titles. It was a great execution for both teams. It doesn't make Fraxium look weak at all. They are the future for WWE tag teams. After that match, we had Jordynne Grace versus Roxanne Perez. Jordynne Grace is an absolute beast. She is incredible. Not much to say on this match. It wasn't a bad match, but it was my least favorite match of the night. But you saw Jordynne Grace get the win. Good exchange between the two of them in the ring. Jordynne Grace is an insane female competitor, and Roxanne Perez in her own right is also great in the ring. But I really wanted to get onto another huge highlight of the night for me was the big match between both the NXT and the TNA heavyweight champs, between Oba and Moose. Goodness, those two guys hit each other hard, and they are big men, and they showcased, it was a quick but fun and exciting match between these two big men, showcasing their strength, hitting all these athletic moves for their size. It was honestly, I was in awe for half of it. The way that both Moose and Oba can move in the ring, they are incredible talents for WWE and TNA alike. And honestly, real quick, just to tail off this, the TNA and WWE agreement so far has been handled a lot better than TNA and AEW's was. When we saw TNA and AEW kind of merge together, AEW was almost always getting put over. Almost always. And they just, I don't know, it just almost felt like they were kind of burying most of the TNA roster, whereas I would say it's a little bit more balanced with the WWE and TNA deal and agreement that they have. And I am loving their involvement with NXT. I really do. I think it's the best thing in WWE right now, honestly. I think this is better than SmackDown. And for the most part, I think NXT lately has been better than Raw. So Ethan Page and Javon Evans had an incredible street fight. It was obviously what we all expected it to be, which was let me adjust my mic here. It was a spot fest for sure. You saw that awful spot that Evans took off the top rope onto the flat side or the seat part of two chairs. That was nasty. My favorite spot though was when Javon hit Ethan Page with like a cutter. He jumped over the top rope, insane athleticism by the way, over the top rope and hit Ethan Page with a cutter to the outside through a table. Like you can't have a better spot than that in a street fight. This was a really, really fun match from start to finish. And we saw Javon get the upper hand. He's looking to get a push here in NXT in 2025, beating the former champ and former guy from AEW, actually, and Ethan Page. But again, solid match all around. Not much left to be said about that. Just a really fun and exciting match. But next, let's really dive into that women's championship match, which was a lot of fun. Wwe versus Stephanie Vaquer. Vaquer, I can't remember how to pronounce her last name. That was one of the best women's matches in a while in the WWE, not just in NXT, but in WWE. I hope that they can continue that momentum into Mania coming up here with the Mania women's titles matches that we'll be seeing. Stephanie is a huge miss for AEW. For those who also pay attention and watch AEW product like myself, Stephanie was featured in AEW for a very, very short stint, I believe in early 2024. And then about mid-2024 last year is when she actually decided as a free agent to go and sign with the WWE. And so Shawn Michaels, bravo to you. Great grab. She is very quickly becoming one of the top 5 female wrestlers in pro wrestling in general. She's up there with the likes of Rhea Ripley, with Toni Storm, and maybe a couple of others. So great match. The two went back and forth in this exchange. Vaquer's finisher, that I don't even know what to call it, what the technical term is for it, but it's like a twisting move, like a drop into a backbreaker. It's gross looking. That's a good finisher for her. The only small nitpick that I have is I think the ending of the match was a little quick and kind of sudden. Not in terms of like a roll-up quick, but just I don't want to go as far as say it was a little anticlimactic at the end because of how good the match was until the final minute or two. But I will say, if I had to nitpick, the only little problem that I had with the finish of this match was the ending. It kind of just went really quick, that final minute. Just, oh, hey, Stephanie won. I think even the crowd kind of for a second had to take in the fact that she just won and absorb the fact that she just won. But then, we got a standing ovation pretty much for her. And she made NXT history as the first ever NXT women's North American and NXT women's champion. So congrats to you, Stephanie. This was a very fun match. And all around, NXT Roadblock was one of my favorite WWE shows in the last 6 months. It was just a lot of fun. Every match, like I said at the beginning of this video, hit really well. A lot of fun spots, a lot of memorable moments from every single match. Yeah, I'm just going to go out and say I enjoyed this more than Elimination Chamber as a whole. Elimination Chamber obviously had the bigger moment with the heel turn of, like, the biggest heel turn in history, arguably, with John Cena, and a really good match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But the Elimination Chamber matches itself, just, I've kind of expressed this in my last video with the Raw review and the cage match. WWE just, I don't know what it is. I just don't really like how they present cage matches, and that's, steel cage, that's Elimination Chamber, and that's Hell in a Cell. But that was my other video. You can see that linked at the end of this video if you want to catch that. I actually had to upload it early this morning because my internet was down for about half a day. So I would have had that Raw review up yesterday, but unfortunately it didn't get uploaded, or I had to schedule it for 10 a.m. this morning. So you're going to be getting double videos today because this will be posted. I should have this posted early evening around 5 p.m. today. Central is where I live. So again, NXT Roadblock, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for a rating. Again, one of the best WWE shows I've seen in a while, and I would say probably my favorite show of 2025 that has been put on by WWE product. Shawn Michaels, you are doing a wonderful job in NXT. You are one of the best to ever do it. Easily top 5 for me. Keep going at this pace. Keep it up. I really like to see NXT thrive again. It's really starting to feel like the old NXT days and their glory days of 2014, I want to say, to about 2018. Those 4 years, NXT was the best thing in pro wrestling. And they are getting back to it very quickly here with this Roadblock show that we just saw. So that's my review on Roadblock. And now next, real quick, I just want to get over some both WWE and AEW news out of the way. So confirmation today that Swerve Strickland is confirmed to be in AEW for the next handful of years. I'm reading here on my laptop that he is confirmed to be with the company until 2029 is what it looks like it is. So yeah, a solid amount of years. We got 5 years for him here. And I just want to read a quick quote that he said because it's very interesting. He was asked about, on a podcast, he was asked about the benefits of wrestling in AEW, and I cannot stress this enough because, again, AEW is best for business. It is good to have competition. Swerve goes on and says, I'm signed to AEW until 2029. There's nowhere else I would rather be. A lot of people say, oh, that's just a PR. He's supposed to say that shit. Nah, I mean that shit from the bottom of my heart. There's no other place I'd rather be. Do I have bad days as opposed to good days? Of course. This is a job. I have frustrations here and there, but I work through those frustrations better than I did in other places. We all know he means WWE there. And anywhere else in the world, whether it be Lucha Underground, WWE, NXT, and so on. Tony Khan and me have always worked through frustrations. So that is, outside of the Swerve news, that's actually really good news to hear for AEW as a whole, because they have been getting a lot of heat lately about, Tony Khan not being the best to work with and how he's just, a big stan of wrestling a child when it comes to booking. All those, negative comments that you've heard over the last year or so of Tony Khan. This proves that Tony Khan, he's not perfect, but neither is Shawn Michaels. Neither is, Triple H. And so it's nice to see that Swerve is giving AEW some recognition. So that's what I had there. And then, real quick, some WWE news that I saw. It looks like WWE is really starting to focus on using the in-ring talent by their stage names and no nicknames added onto their stage names. So I saw reports that both Seth Rollins, Dominic Mysterio, and someone else I forget have had their Bronson Reed. They've had their nicknames dropped. So No more Seth freaking Rollins. It's just Seth Rollins. No more dirty Dominic Mysterio. It's just Dominic Mysterio. And no more big Bronson Reed. And I'm okay with that because, to be honest, they've always kind of sounded corny to me. Not quite as bad as when WWE went with just single names for a long time when Vince was still in control. I absolutely hated that. So I'm glad they dropped that and brought back full names again for a lot of their talent. But now they're dropping the corny, tacky, unnecessary nicknames. And I'm glad that they're doing that as well. That was definitely, I'm assuming anyway, a Triple H decision. Probably also TKO as well. So good to see that. And I hope that they continue that going forward when they have new talent signed to Raw and SmackDown, to just not give them corny nicknames anymore. Hey, but that's it. That's all I have on this episode of Screw the Script. Again, NXT Roadblock, 8 out of 10 show. A lot of fun. And then I just ran by some quick AEW and WWE news. This has been Maverick again. Thank you for watching.